Iba-iba ang bansa at teritoryo, iba't ibang kultura at lengguwahe, nagkakaisa at nananatiling solido. Ito ang INC Radio.
Sa lahat ng mga tao, this is INC Radio. Anywhere in the world, though, we are always together, connected to everyone. Life will be better. Tayo na, sama-sama halina sa INC Radio International na. Ito palaging konektado ka sa INC Radio na.
This is INC Radio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you're tuning in. I'm Sister Jamie with INC Radio Texas. Welcome this evening, and we have a wonderful show for you tonight. And like always, I am not by myself and I'm not alone. I've got my wonderful co-hosts this evening. Sister Wendy, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing well and definitely keeping warm. It is a little bit chilly, so thank you for asking. And for those tuning in tonight, I'm Sister Wendy from local of Houston. And yes, I think it's a really exciting topic tonight.
Yes, and before we get started, I also wanted to just shout out to Sister Mayvan, who will be our moderator this evening. As you know, we have a special show to you tonight, as always. And Sister Mayvan, how are you doing this evening?
I am doing fantastic, and that's a big word, moderator. Wow. Amazingly, I'm excited for the topic for tonight because it is a new year, brand new time, I guess. So hopefully the first month we have made a lot of changes, and hopefully down the road we can solidify it and hopefully make us into a better person. I hope you all agree with that, especially in our comment section down below.
Yes, as we mentioned, it is a special show tonight. We don't have any guests because our audience is our guest this evening. So that's why I had asked Sister Wendy to be our moderator. And then she'll be reading all the comments and like all of the answers as we basically go through our entire show. So tonight, don't forget to also join our hashtag challenge. Make sure that when you ask those questions and when you basically put your thoughts on there on our chat, make sure that you do the hashtag challenge. And at the end of this month, we will announce the big winner for our hashtag challenge, because I know we've had such a great turnout these past weeks, and we thank you so much for joining us on at 9 o'clock on a Friday night where you, I'm sure, could be doing other things, but we thank you for tuning in tonight. So without further ado, let's talk about our topic for this evening. Yes, it is the 17th of January. We're well in 3 weeks into the new year, but it's still the new year. And so let's just talk about, I guess, the question of the day: what is your motivation for creating a new routine? Yes, like I said, it's 3 weeks in, and wondering, have any of you, at least like my co-host, my lovely co-hosts, have you created a new routine for yourself. It is 2025. I'm sure you had a lot to think about it the whole entire year of 2024. What I'm gonna change about, about the new year. So like, yeah, I mean, Sister Wendy, like any kind of new routines that you're implementing this third week into the new year.
Yeah, and I think time really just flew by. Back in December 2024, I was just thinking to myself, oh, I have a whole other year to kind of achieve my goals and things like that. And with a blink of an eye, it's just we're in the third week. But I think this is a really good time to kind of talk about it because we're starting the year a little bit, and so we had a little bit of taste of the new year and then kind of go into the new routine or rhythm of 2025. And so as May alluded to as well, we do have also a question of the night. And as Sister Jamie said, everyone who is tuning in are our guest. So please do put down your answer of what is your motivation to create a new routine. We love to hear from you, and we'll be reading comments throughout. So with that said, I think I did start listing out some goals, and there are so many things I wanted to do, but one of the things that I'm trying to do is focus on just like the top priorities versus trying to achieve a long list of goals, but rather like reprioritize and then also put in place like a visualization system and then like a reward system. Yeah.
Cool. I like that idea of the rewards. I guess I should have eased into this this like topic this evening. Now that I think about it, because yes, we are 3 weeks into like 2025. A lot has been, happening since, I feel like. So just to make this a little bit fun and light and maybe ease in our audience as well, if you can describe, I guess, your 2024, and thinking back at it, it's only been, again, about 3 weeks-ish. I guess what would be the best, or I guess what emoji would you use to describe what 2024 was for you? Now, everyone who's tuning in, thank you for tuning in. Feel free to start like putting like that emoji that kind of describe, looking back at your 2024, like how did that make you feel? And based on that, like what, like basically what will motivate you to get, a new routine in 2025. I think we had talked about this earlier. Now, I'll start with myself. So I started implementing a nighttime routine where I need to be in bed by 10:30. So, but operative words are in bed at 10:30, but not necessarily sleeping at 10:30. So it's baby steps for me. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna need to get to bed at 10:30, but perhaps, my next kind of milestone goal would be like, going to sleep perhaps at 10:30, working on that part, but at least I am getting to bed at 10:30.
And I'm really curious too. So I guess stepping back, is the goal for you to sleep earlier, like with that getting into bed at 10:30? And then I'm also curious, like, what's the motivation that kind of brought on that routine?
So the motivation was, I think I kind of, so reading articles, like watching like kind of YouTube videos on wellness, so, like having like that full 8 hours of sleep is very, it's a huge factor to like your health, perhaps your mental clarity, even your skin. So that's why I was thinking, it doesn't hurt to like, at least if something I can control, perhaps like I should get to bed at 10:30, and I hope to get that full 8 hours of shut-eye, of that sleep. And hopefully I do feel, like refreshed and rested, for the coming days. So that's kind of what I've thought about. But I like what you said earlier, it's like you have these priorities that you're trying to just kind of like, basically focus on like the top priorities, where I think you're setting yourself up for success, right? Because I think a lot of us out there would have these very ambitious resolutions, if you will, for the new year, and then somehow we end up setting ourselves to, like, to not achieve them. So I think that's realistic. I like that. That's a realistic goal. So I think we might be buzzing in our YouTube chat. What's the consensus out there, Sister Mayfan?
Well, there are a couple, like according to our tech person behind the scenes, Brother Byrne, of course, is also with us for tonight. Y'all just don't see him right now because he's doing everything behind the scenes. But I am excited, going back to the question, like, what is one emoji that you can use to describe your 2024? So I'm gonna look for those emojis down here. I'm just reading and scrolling through it. Send down your emojis if it's a heart, if it's a flower, because mine personally, my emoji for 2024, those leaves that fall? That's my emoji.
I
I'm
picked up my phone just to see
just
what that looks like.
that's me. I'm just a leaf and I've been spiraling. No, I'm just joking. But that's my emoji for 2024. But then we have we have a couple of comments down here. We have one birthday greeting from Brother Ferdinand Fibre. He said, "Happy birthday, Patrick Estanislao in Corpus." I don't know if I said it right, but happy birthday! I also have seen one greeting, another happy birthday. I think it's for Brother Danielle Santa Maria. If I'm getting it right, happy birthday to you, po. And I seen this one. I read this. This is so nice. It's from Sister Dawn Kubangbang. She said, "My motivation to creating a new routine is thinking about the positive impacts it can have in my life." That is so inspiring. That is nice. That is a good way to start your year. That is very nice. And we also have one more by Brother Ruben Pascual. He said, been under the weather lately, so I'm motivated to boost my immune system. Example, like walking an hour a day, which is 3 miles in their subdivision. That is very healthy. That is very healthy. I support that. Go for it. Yes, go King. Go Sir. Don't forget your vitamins as well. They help. And we
I
also
agree.
have
It's
one.
actually okay. Go ahead. Sorry, sister. Go ahead, Sister Mayfan.
No, go ahead.
Oh
We
no, I
also
think
have
you're reading. Yeah, go ahead and keep reading because I was just
okay.
gonna interject, but go ahead.
We have one from Brother Matt Carl Talens, our CFO. Um, my motivation is to do more for the church and to do my best to surpass what I was able to accomplish last year, all for God's glory. Yes, challenge yourself. A lot of people really do love to challenge themselves, and I think that's a good way to challenge yourself. Like every year, aim for something more. Like I think I read one article. It's like you can't keep aiming for one thing, the same thing over and over again, because now that you're gonna be stagnant. Go aim a little bit higher. If you don't want to go like above and beyond, just a little bit like a step higher than what you've achieved from before. So nothing can go wrong. You already did it. So might as well go for it, right? What do you think?
Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with elevating, right? Like elevating yourself, whether it's in your health and most importantly, in the spiritual aspects of of your life. So definitely, I think that is a very good motivation for a new routine, like having that. Perhaps like last year, I only did this much. Let's just say I'm just going to use this as a scale. This much. I only participated in this much activity, but this year I want to go double that, right? So I think it's not a bad uh, it's not a bad routine to have. Sister Wendy, what do you think? I mean, is there anything in 2024 that like made you switch up your routine? I guess like what you were doing, I don't know, 3 weeks ago in December 2024, that basically was like, I need to switch it. I mean, anything that's kind of like, that you feel like it's it needs a switch up.
Yeah, I would say, well, actually, circling back, the goal or the routine of trying to do a little bit more compared to what I did in the past year, that's always a really good goal to have. And it's actually one of my favorite saying is a rolling stone gathers no moss. Like it's just so visualized. Like the
Big words,
stone that
big
you keep
words.
rolling, you keep
Mhm.
changing, you keep, stepping out of your comfort zone, adding on to that what you did before, in a good way. And then, so yeah, so really that's one, trying to just do a little bit more compared to what I did, like growth. And then also some of the life events, like last year I got married now, and so there's different priorities that popped up compared to before, when I was still single. And so this year, like I guess life events, that's also one of the motivation, and just trying to make sure that I'm going towards like a better direction, or becoming like the person that I'm aiming to be. So that's very huge, but that's kind of the main drivers.
And I think, it's one of those things where I think you can never stop
Mhm.
improving or or aiming for those, those milestones, right? Because I think, honestly, I really just stopped making New Year's resolutions, so to speak, or kind of having these goals. Because again, it's one of those things I don't want to set myself up for not being able to achieve them. But more so, like I like the idea of changing those habits and creating a new routine. So I think instead of like, oh, this is my New Year's resolution, I'm going to lose like, 50 pounds. I mean, realistically speaking, right? It's a good resolution, or goal, but I think, I think it's almost, you also have to be, I want to say practical. There's always, you always want to be aspirational, but at the same time, you kind of have to, be true to yourself about those things. Which brings me to the next question: like, what is the big goal that you're excited to work on in 2025? Okay, speaking of big goals, it's funny enough because I said one of my goals is like I need to lose weight, and I think it goes along the lines of like, you make this one change, it like impacts your everything positively. I'm not aiming to like, in my mind, like to look like a supermodel or anything like that. That's not, I mean, that's totally unrealistic. But I think for me, like these little incremental, like if I can control it myself and help myself where I don't have to perhaps like get on a medication or get on anything, I think those are kind of the strides that the goal. I think that's like my biggest goal is to like be able to achieve that in a kind of a baby step or incremental way. What about you, Sister Wendy or Sister Mayfan, really, like, or even Brother Byrne, like goals for 2025?
Yeah, and even our viewers, please feel free to leave your comments in as well. And I love that what you just said, Sister Jamie, like taking baby steps. So, and I think one of the comments that Sister May read earlier had really specific goals, like take one walk. I think it was like 3 miles. Sorry if I remembered it incorrectly, but that's kind of like breaking down a really large goal but into a very specific step. And that's actually one of the method that I'm trying. It's like a trial and error, but that's one of the methods I'm trying this year, where I write down my goal. So there's a couple. I'm right there with you on losing weight. But instead of saying just, I want to lose how many pounds this year round, when I write down, and like I have visual aid where I have like a little book. Uh, it's like all my top
I love
goals.
that
And
she's
but then I literally write down, okay, to lose weight, my goal is one, I need to exercise X amount of time for X amount of days per week. And then I would visually draw on the calendar. If I meet that, I would draw a little heart and fill it up. So, and then also drink enough water per day. So if I did meet, like I said, I would drink 2 cups of like this large cup of water per day. So if I do drink it, then I draw the little heart on a different color and fill it out. If I only drank 1 cup, then I just fill half of the heart out. And so the goal is then every time I can just look at, oh, yay, I have a row of hearts. It kind of gives me like a rewarding feeling. And then I'm thinking of if I have like 10 days or half of the month that has hearts, then I would do a little celebration to kind of, celebrate that milestone. What about you, Sister Jamie?
Yeah, other than like losing weight, yeah, definitely like baby steps. It's like those, it starts with like perhaps like I need to eat more vegetables, like kind of like trying to
Oh,
go
that's
on
a
like,
good one.
right, like I was like, oh, maybe I'll eat veggies from like like 3 times out of the week, like just full, like kind of almost like a vegetarian meal, and then perhaps like as I reach like the weekends will be kind of like the reward weekend. I like that idea of having the rewards. I love what Brother Burns said. His goal is to switch from coffee to tea. Now that's a little controversial for me. Are you trying to reduce your caffeine intake, or are you trying to
They both
just,
have caffeine.
they both have
Girl.
caffeine? So I'm just trying to understand, Brother Bird. I mean, is it to reduce the, well, I guess they do have both. I mean, or is it just the flavor? I don't know. I mean, so how about you, Sister Mayfan? Like, what is like your biggest like goal for,
My
or
biggest
I mean,
goal?
yeah, for biggest. I'm gonna put air quotes on that.
My biggest goal for 2025? It has always, well, it has always been my goal to get my master's, so I'm on the process of that. But personally, my biggest goal is just to stay healthy, I guess. Because switching diet from Filipino food to American food, it's so different. So I guess that's my main goal, just to keep intact my, Filipino diet. Because not, this is very debatable. Again, I like to say things that are very debatable, but go ahead. I feel like Filipino food are much healthier than American food. Debatable.
I
I
know, and
said
it kind of
debatable.
depends.
Debatable. I hear
Yes.
you on that one. I mean, what's our audience saying? Like, what are their goals? What are your goals for 2025? We want to hear about it. Like, definitely put it in the comment below. What are they saying, Sister Mayfan?
Well, Kuya Bern did respond. I think tea is more of a healthy one since you don't add creamer or sugar or anything or anything sugar. So I mean, plain black coffee works as well, unless you're not that kind of person. You're not the bitter type, but you do you, sir. Yes, yes, sir. You do you. Um, oh, we have one from Sister Elizabeth Vega. I want to learn baking and painting this year. Po. Yes, Queen. Enhance your talent. Go for it. We have one from Brother Russell. He said, my goal is to get my nursing degree. I'm a firm believer of it's 10% what comes and 90 on how you react to things. That's true. That's true. You can control the things that happens, but you can control how you react to things. So that's true. We have one from the Philippines, from Sister Sally Samartin. Hello po, happy viewing po. Greetings from Babanuang Isabela West. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. But hello po, hello for watching. We have one from our ministers, Brother Neil Trinidad. He said, my motivation for a new routine, soup dumplings. We love that. We love that. Food never fails as motivation. I promise you, it never fails. It will work out. Trust. We have one from we have another one from Brother Mario Oka. He said, "Good day here in the Philippines and enjoy watching here in 90 Texas. Greetings from the local of Brixtonville, district of Caloocan North." Hello po, happy viewing po. Oh, we have a lot of birthday people. We have one from Emery Moreno. She said, "Happy birthday po to Sis Chloe Flores from Universal City." Wow, happy birthday! We also have one from Sister Armin Martin. She said, "Happy birthday, brother CJ from Spring and Ambo." Amazing. Happy birthday to everybody's having birthday and to everybody celebrating their anniversaries. Happy anniversaries to all of y'all. Ooh, Brother Bird said, the tea is bubble tea. So we see the switch up from that. What do you think, Ate Jamie? Is that doable with a switch up from our drinks from coffee to
Like from coffee to like bubble tea? I mean, I almost feel like, okay, I not to get away from our topic here, but I almost feel like for me, like drinking something like that sugary is a treat. It's not an I hope it's not an everyday thing that you're gonna be, drinking that type of tea. But So yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm a little speechless about that. What do you think, Sister Wendy?
Uh, That's pretty controversial. I'm excited for Brother Byrne to try out this new routine, and then we'll definitely have to revisit how the outcome is at year end this year, Brother Byrne. And actually, I think there's also Sister Dawn. She also responded in the comments where one big goal she is excited to work on in 2025 is to be more physically active with exercise and sports. I think, yeah, that's very much something that's very in line with a lot of health goals for this year. So that's definitely amazing to have. And then we have username Armand David said, go back reading oops, I can't read this word, but voluminous books, like, a certain very large book. But as soon as I start reading the first page, I yawn involuntarily. But
One
I,
page
I
is a
think we've
step.
all been there
One
at
page
some
is a
point.
step. A step is a step. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. A step
At
is a
least
step.
you had the book open and it's at the first page. Yeah, and definitely reading is definitely another goal. One of them is I had written down to read 10 books. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but I am a slow reader. Yeah.
We support
I
that.
have to say that is such a good routine. Also, perhaps instead of getting hooked on digital devices, perhaps like reading books. It's interesting because I collect books, but I don't read them. I know it's so strange. I love, like kind of the motion of like, getting this book and, kind of flipping, through the pages, but I never, like read them. And I don't know if it's just like I need to carve out that time to read it. Like you, Sister Wendy, I'm kind of like a slow reader, but apparently there is an exercise out there, and sound off in the comments. I think there is an exercise out there that will allow you to like kind of do a speed reading. So I think that's a good
Ooh, that's amazing.
yes, I think that would be a good, I like that goal. I perhaps we can start our own little book club here. 10
Yeah.
books. Like Justin Tioga said, 10 books, that's a lot.
Oh, well,
Depends.
thank
I
you
think
for that.
maybe you can read like one book, I don't know, maybe every 2 months. I think it might be
Yeah,
doable.
I
I
think
think
that
it's
would be doable.
doable, right? But it's carving out that time. And speaking of time, we're getting to that part of our evening where I mean, these just go by so fast, like usual, and all the interaction and all the comments below. Keep them coming. Keep the conversation going. We'd love to hear more from you and what you aspire to be, or what your goals are, or your motivation for 2025. Again, it's still early. It's only 3 weeks into the new year, so we've got was it 11 more months to achieve these goals. And again, I think baby steps as always, right? So it's never too late. I always say it's never too late. So yeah, so we're wrapping up. So we're coming up to that time. Sister Mayvan, any other like greetings or shout outs that you see on the comments that
Well, I mean, I would say, thank you everyone for dialing in. And of course, we love that you left so many comments. We really enjoyed interacting with you. And before we really do need to, wrap up tonight's show, we can never forget to thank our district CFO overseer, Brother Archie Talons, our assistant district minister, Brother Chody Sampson, our district supervising minister, Brother Noel Caritativo, our executive producer, Brother Emmanuel Andea, our station manager, Brother Wally Teray, CFO coordinator and CEBSI CEO, Brother Angelo Irano V. Manalo, and a special thank you to our executive minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo. So please continue to tune in next Friday and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We do have next up INCRadio Caribbean. And again, thank you so much to everyone who tuned in.